This is the Big Buccaneer channel, and with us again, he's back for another segment. Another interview segment is Donnie Dee, who is the President and Chief Executive Officer of San Diego Rescue Mission. Donnie, thanks for joining us here on the Big Buccaneer channel.
Good to see you again. Appreciate the opportunity to be on your show.
Absolutely. And it's amazing. Your group has operated the Navigation Center. Is that what you call it, or do you call it, is there another name for it as well?
It's been an evolution. I think when we realized back in 2020 that we needed a regional plan around homelessness, we started by thinking we would open up navigation centers in North, South, and East counties. Well, that has evolved into, we call them lighthouses. So we have been operating the Oceanside facility that we call the North County Lighthouse since August of 2023. Prior to that, there was about a year and a half of construction. So we've been talking about the Oceanside facility for about the last 4 years, and we have successfully, effectively, strategically operated that from August of 2023 through today.
And your agreement with the City of Oceanside to run that center ends October 14th.
That's correct. That'll be our last day.
All right. And this is very, very interesting, and it befuddles a lot of people. You ran that operation with a staff of how many?
We have 22 staff and have stayed around that number since we opened. 20, 21, 22, 23, I think has been the most we've ever had. And as of right now, we've had this past year we held around 22 staff there for most of the year.
Okay, and how many? What is your average census? People who are staying at the center?
Well, we know because we have the reports that 92% of those that are staying at the Oceanside facility got picked up or dropped off from a location in Oceanside. Okay,
now let's be clear. Your staff runs the center, but you don't go out, or do you go out? Does your staff go out and find these people and bring them in?
Yeah, this particular program is not a walk-up facility like you see downtown. You'll see a lot of emergency shelters around the country, and every city has one where you walk up to the door, you can get a meal, you can get a bed, you can get clothing. That's not what we did. What we did at this facility was a drop-off facility. Either the Oceanside Police Department and their HOT team, or our outreach workers, or a partner that we have a memo of understanding with, and we gave them the opportunity to drop people off. That's how you got into the Oceanside facility. You were referred there by the police department, by our outreach team, or by one of our partnering agencies.
All right. And so if you could point to, a metric, like how successful would you say that you have been over all these, since August of 23, what can you say? We've done this, and this.
Well, I would tell you that homelessness is complicated, and it's not one size fits all. You can't just put them all in a warehouse and hope that they figure out their stuff. This is a heart issue, HEART. We believe homelessness is a heart issue. And so when they come to our facility, we really begin to work on the issues of the heart. And what I'm most proud of is that of the 1,000 people that we serviced over the last 24 months, unique individuals, not double counting, the 1,000 people we serviced, a little over 50% of them took a positive step forward and out of homelessness. Some of them eliminated their homelessness altogether. We had about 60 that went to our 12-month program downtown. And part of what we do when you come into the Oceanside facility is we try to figure out where you go next, because you're not going back to the streets. And so I'm really proud of the work that we've done and the impact that we've had, the lives that we have changed, and all paid for by private donors throughout San Diego.
All right. This is the Big Buccaneer channel, the Oceanside station. We're speaking with Donnie Dee, who leads and runs the San Diego Rescue Mission, which has operated and been the one and only operator of what we call the Navigation Center, which is right there on Oceanside Boulevard, right near Fire Station number 3, near El Camino Real. And you're leaving after October 14th. And the center will then be operated by a group called Interfaith.
That's correct.
They're based in Escondido.
That's correct.
And what was the process, to the extent you can get into it, that the city decided to switch gears and have them run the center instead of you guys?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know that I have an answer to that. That's probably a question for either Eric Joyce or for Esther Sanchez, because they're the ones that led the effort to move us out. We've never had anybody share a complaint. We never had anybody share a disappointment. We've never had anybody from city staff or city council tell us that they'd like to see us do some things differently. I just know that that the mayor voted no for us in the beginning.
Right.
And I think that in her mind, we are a faith-based organization. And even though the Oceanside facilities, there are no faith-based mandatory requirements, she had it out for us. And then once she got reelected, I believe, and I'm just telling you what I think, Ken, I don't know you. I'm not a private investigator. I just want to help the homeless. But I think that in her mind, we were on her list, and she decided to do everything she could to get us out, even if it meant that the city had to pick up the tab on operating that facility.
Okay, we'll get to that in a second. But I think it is well known, for instance, with the nonprofit group that unites challenge to young people with the horses, the Ivy Ranch.
Yeah.
She has had it out for them for decades, and she has so stated. And once she has it in her mind that you are not her friend, you are her enemy, and she will do everything she can to stab you in the back or the front or the side. If this is how I read it, and this is her MO, and she wanted you guys out because she didn't vote for you originally, or whatever the case is. But let's talk about an article that came out in the Coast News, and this was particularly illuminating to me. They had a quote from Esther that said, well, we want to go with a group, meaning Interfaith, that wants to give priority to Oceanside homeless. And and I've said this before, I never understood, what does Oceanside homeless mean? Do they have tattoos on their arm that say they've been homeless for, since a certain date? And is there a threshold? Do you have to be homeless for 6, 9, 12 months? Esther, tell us how long you need to be homeless in Oceanside to call yourself an Oceanside homeless. That to me is preposterous. And then, this is the best one. Councilman Eric Joyce said that, well, he has a reason why he didn't want to return to San Diego Rescue Mission and instead go with Interfaith. But you know what? I don't want to say what it is. That's what he told a newspaper reporter, the Coast News. He has a reason, but he doesn't want to say what it is. What the actual, what is going on here? This is a mind blower to me, and it makes you scratch your head and wonder what is really going on here.
Yeah, we are actually thankful to be leaving Oceanside because we found them very difficult to work with. We asked for a playground because of the number of kids that we had in our facility 2 years ago, and I never could get them to even consider a proposal. We brought them proposals. We even agreed to pay for part of it. And I think that's a part of the problem, is that there's no vision, there's no strategy. I think that for Eric Joyce and for Esther Sanchez, this is not about the homeless, it's about politics. And it's just unfortunate that we were paying our own way, trying to do a good job, and we got caught up in the politics of things. Now, I personally believe that God used that, Ken, to send us to Vista, because we got a 5-0 vote from their city council, and they're excited about working together. And I can tell you they have a vision, they have a strategy, and we're looking forward to relocating there.
All right. We are speaking with Donnie Dee, President and CEO of the San Diego Rescue Mission. And we're so glad you joined us today, Donnie. And let's talk again next week.
Absolutely.